This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Curaleaf, one of the nation's fastest growing multi-state legal cannabis operators with 43 local dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 11 processing facilities serving more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Learn all about Curaleaf over at curaleaf.com, with Curaleaf spelled Curaleaf. That's curaleaf.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, April 17th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 706 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Jay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Kyle Yeager over at Marijuana Moment kicks off today's news with a pickup of a panel discussion held late last week at a meeting held by Democratic members of Congress, in which the topic covered was how to legalize adult use marijuana. Not if it should be made legal, but how. The panel discussion was moderated by cannabis-friendly reps Barbara Lee of California and Earl Blumenauer of Oregon, and dove into things like building an equitable legal marijuana industry and what can be done to fix historic harms caused by the war on marijuana, as well as an overall examination of the broader war on drugs. This is the same retreat that I reported on yesterday for the marijuana-focused trivia questions answered correctly by congressional reps. Zip over to Kyle's piece for more on this one. As always, we have all the stories we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. On Monday, a group of state financial regulators sent a letter to congressional leaders pressing for federal changes to laws allowing banks to work with state legal marijuana businesses. The letter was led up by Robin Weissman, Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities, and was co-signed by equivalent leaders in 25 states or territories, including Colorado, Alaska, Connecticut, Utah, Puerto Rico, and my home state of Maine. You can find a link to the letter itself over at Forbes, where you can also find a letter sent last year by Weissman and 12 other state financial regulators. With the high holiday of 420 just a few days away now, Marijuana Business Daily has an insightful chart of the week look at how different states compare in terms of how much higher their 420-day sales are compared to average. As you might have guessed, the mile-high state of Colorado wins this one by pulling in last year an average of 128% more sales on 420 than a typical day. By way of comparison, California's April 20th sales last year were just 103% higher than average. Nevada was 106% and Washington 97%. This is another story that I would have you open up today, as Marijuana Business Daily always does a good job in adding lots of valuable background and context to their charts of the week. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's fastest growing multi-state legal cannabis operators with 43 local dispensaries, 12 cultivation sites, and 11 processing facilities serving more than 150,000 registered medical marijuana patients. With such a large and growing footprint, the folks at Curaleaf know they have a responsibility to do things right, which is why they spend so much time and energy developing their products and educating their customers about the best ways to utilize medical cannabis. The easiest way to check out that Curaleaf difference is to just make a visit to one of their facilities yourself. So I would direct you over to curaleaf.com to find the closest to you. And while you're there, you can also read up on Curaleaf, the stock, traded up on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol CURA, as well as more on Curaleaf's 3 retail lines: medical marijuana Curaleaf, Curaleaf hemp, and Yuku craft cannabis. That's curaleaf.com. All right, time for the blitz. Illinois' Cook County's state attorney Kim Foxx said that she is in talks with nonprofit organization Code for America about how to use technology to automatically find people eligible to have their past criminal records scrubbed of marijuana possession-related charges. State's Attorney Foxx made some headlines back in January when she announced interest in expungement for cannabis crimes during a speech. No hard deal has been signed yet with Code for America, which has helped San Francisco expunge cannabis charges from its books, but it's incredibly good news that there are talks ongoing in Cook County, which includes the city of Chicago. The Colorado Sun spoke with that state's new U.S. Attorney Jason Dunn about legal marijuana, specifically the disparity between how states like Colorado handle cannabis and how the federal government sees things. Thankfully, U.S. Attorney Dunn seems resigned to the fact that there isn't really much his office can do to go after state legal marijuana, even if the federal government did rescind the Cole Memo last year, a document from the Obama administration offering up some levels of protection to state legal operators. Not a bad one to read if you do business in the Mile High State. Reason as an important story up that I hope you dive into fully today with a look at an Alabama family that had their lives turned upside down after police raided their house, stole their money and possessions, and slapped them with criminal charges, all for having $50 of marijuana and a single sleeping pill in the house. Greg and Teresa Almond thankfully just heard on Monday that the charges brought against them were being dropped and that a judge had ordered their possessions to be returned to them, but the couple nonetheless are currently living in a storage shed after losing their home in the aftermath of last year's raids. There are many, many reasons why the war on marijuana and the war on drugs needs to end, and sometimes it's a good idea to remind yourself of a single specific case in need of justice. This is one of them. Canadian marijuana giant Canopy Growth is buying up Cafina, one of the 3 companies licensed in Spain to sell higher THC medical marijuana. Perhaps most importantly, Cafina has a license to export medical marijuana and can also grow industrial hemp. Late last week, the Pennsylvania Department of Health released some numbers for how its new medical marijuana program has been doing, with the state's dispensaries selling nearly $100 million in retail sales in the first full year medical cannabis has been legal. There are more than 80,000 registered patients now in Pennsylvania's system and 45 licensed dispensaries. Leafly has a nice roundup of some thoughts from prominent cannabis industry leaders on the significance of the high holiday of 420, both as a celebration of cannabis and marijuana legalization, as well as its expanding role as a holiday in the world of legal states. Leafly spoke with a lot of smart folks for this one, including Amanda Ryman of Flocana, Amber Center of Supernova Women, and cannabis guru Danny Danko, so maybe another one to jump into. And finally for today, Quartz nicely pulled together a list of all the different legal adult use marijuana states and the tax rates that consumers and the industry pays for legal cannabis. According to their story, in 2017, state legal marijuana businesses paid the U.S. government a little under $5 billion in taxes off of around $13 billion in revenue. I'd open this one up today as well, if only to see the state-by-state listings. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Cureleaf, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the lesser ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.